Trying to add Raphael to the payroll. If you wanna leave Real Madrid like Florentino said, bro, just say so. Cause we've got that dough by the caseload. That's M16 for the postcode. That's 016 for the phone code. I'm like bound for the reload. What? Trying to add Raphael to the payroll. If you wanna leave Real Madrid like Florentino said, bro, just say so. Cause we've got that dough by the caseload. That's M16 for the postcode. That's 016 for the phone code. I'm like bound for the reload. What?
Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. It's your boy Firms and it's NK and we're back again with another show. Today, we are going to talk about, as per usual, the transfer news, gossip, Manchester related stuff, everything to do with Manchester United. Look, today, more precisely, I'm going to talk about Rafael Varane and that transfer saga, what's ongoing, Camavinga, Jadon Sancho, Paul Pogba, and a bits of bobs of some other stuff if there's time. But you know what? Before I continue, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 99banter, all one word. Instagram at OT99_banterroom. TikTok at OT99banterroom, all one word. Follow us. You'll be getting the latest smoke, the latest gas, the latest transfer news right here on your doorstep. Look, let's kick it off. NK, so where should I start? I'll start with Varane. Let's start with Varane. So
yeah,
obviously breaking news has been coming out over the last few days since we were last sort of uploaded the last time we spoke. So Varane is being linked with Manchester United. The talk has been that Manchester United have the opportunity to sign Varane for about 50 million euros, which is about 45 million pounds, something along those lines. The word from Spanish reports is that Varane doesn't want to stay at Real Madrid. He wants a new challenge. Credible journalists are also backing that information up and that story up, saying that he wants a new challenge. He doesn't want to sign a new contract. Now, there's fair. And today, you know, Chef, that guy that came out, Dharmesh Chef, came out for Sky Sports saying, you know, it's remote. I think he said that we want both of them, but it's remote that we could potentially get both of them. And I'm thinking, who's right and who's wrong, for one. Two, I'm thinking, it brings me back to that whole thing with Ramos, what he did to us and how he used us for a contract. Like, why is Varane so quiet? I mean, he may be on that, he's on holiday. Why is the news so quiet from his agent, his party? Why aren't they vocal? The president said, you know what? If you want to leave, say you want to leave. I'm waiting to hear it officially, like, yes, I want to leave, like how Kane's doing it. Because he hasn't spoken, there's an element of doubt. But what's your thoughts on it? Do you feel like Varane truly wants to come to Manchester United, or do you think that he's using us as a ploy to just get a bigger wage?
I think the time for using is out of the window. I really believe so. The time for using is out of the window, and I feel, you know what? I feel like he told them, because one of the reports that I was reading was that Real Madrid have actually given Man United permission to negotiate personal terms with Varane, you know, like giving the agent like a green light that they can just start doing that. Personally, I feel Real Madrid want to get him off their books. I really feel like Real Madrid, because when Real Madrid want to keep a player, there's a way they go by it, and when because most of the time, if you look at even the Ramos deal, for example, it was never the club coming out to say if Ramos want to leave, come and just do that. It was mostly like the player's agent just talking to United saying, hey, you know what, we might be interested in like coming there and everything. But this one, it's actually like the president saying like if he want to leave, he can just come and say, hey, you want to leave. Personally, I feel like they want to get him out. Today, I saw this thing about how Barcelona are struggling to even register some of their newly players. You know, apparently all the players that they have signed, even on the free, they cannot register them because they in La Liga, there's this kind of like salary cap that they have exceeded it. And because of the pandemic too, their salary cap have dropped too. So there's kind of like an amount of players that they can actually have on their books in terms of like wages, you know. And even with the Messi deal, they are struggling because in order for them to do that, they have to let some players go, which they are actually releasing some players for free too. And I feel like Real Madrid are not there yet, but they are very close gain there too. Because if you look at Gareth Bale, for example, he's on 650,000 a week, and this guy don't even get to play too. And I know for sure too, players like
Griezmann's on about what, that similar amount, like maybe 600-700
right.
himself.
So I feel like Real Madrid is kind of like in a same limbo. If not, they are almost to the point where their wage structure too is gonna go now according to what the La Liga people are thinking. So if you look at it, I feel like Ramos, for example, in hindsight, he's a club legend. You know, you give him like a 1 year or 2 year, let him retire the club. Man United like gave him Mata ain't even doing nothing, you know. So in hindsight, if it wasn't a money problem, they would have given Ramos the same thing too. And if it wasn't a money problem too, they would have given Varane too, a bigger wages than he won. You know, personally, I feel like they want to get him out of their books. They really want to get him out of the book. And I think that Varane know that too, because from what I've known, since he came, he's spoken to, Carlos, the new manager, and the new offer that Real Madrid has kind of like given him to kind of like sign. He's definitely not going to sign that because the money is just not good. So he's kind of like, I don't know. And I told you, like, chat between Man United probably have been taking place since last January too. And I strongly believe that now he has probably given Man United the go ahead. Like, you know what, if I'm interested, like, you know, personal terms. I'm even sure the point is probably agree personal terms with Man United. It's just up to United and Real Madrid just doing that. But I believe I've always told you before August 1st, Varane's going to be a United player.
Oh gosh, your optimism. I mean, I hope to be as optimistic as you, and I mean, so I do agree. Real Madrid definitely have a money issue, and yes, you know, someone like Ramos is a guy that you would want to retire at the club, but he is 35. Do you understand? And I'm thinking, you know, for them letting him go, where they're thinking about reprioritizing that money and giving it to someone like Varane, or managing like Bale when he comes back or whatever, like is it them putting measures in place to manage that situation is what I was thinking. So there's always that in the back of my mind, you know. But I did hear, you know, that Manchester United made him Varane an offer of a 5-year contract. So we offered a 5-year contract apparently with 12 million. I think it's like 12 million a year, whether that was in euros or pounds.
Euros, yeah, it was euros, yeah.
And whereas Real Madrid made Varane an offer quite some time ago for a 4-year contract, 7 million euros. So that's quite a big difference. I mean, you're talking about an extra, 5 million? Is it fair?
Yeah, 5 million a year. That can do a lot, you know. 5
million, you know what I mean? So it's a massive difference if that's true. And I don't see how Real Madrid will ever get to those numbers. And plus, remember, it's an additional year. So it's not like to say we offered him 4-year contract. We offered him a 5-year contract. So you're talking about an additional big lump sum of money. So I feel like when it comes to wages, we'll blow Real Madrid out of the park right about now. And I do feel potentially that we've already thrown around numbers and contracts. We probably have agreed that, but we can't obviously be bait about it and let the world know that we've done this because of the whole tapping up players thing. It won't be seen as a good thing. Obviously, it's illegal. But I do feel like that has been agreed. But then there's that whole thing again about, you know, would Varane or his agent take that information now and like go back? You know, like if you're trying to get a good deal on a car lease or whatever, you go to one dealership, get one quote. You go to another dealership outside of the catchment area, show them the deal on paper, like, can you match this? Can you beat this sort of thing? I just feel like if Varane's got this quote or his agent's got this quote from us, could he use that as a bargaining tool to go back to Real Madrid and say, look, this is what I've been offered. If you don't, I'm leaving. The only thing I would say is they can't, that gap is too big. It's too big to close in my opinion. What I do feel like is if this deal is going to get done, it's going to drag out. And we're probably not going to hear about it. So when you're saying the 1st of August, maybe, but I feel like it's one of those deals that could potentially drag out for some time. That's my thing about this. I don't know if we're going to be hearing here we go anytime soon.
Yeah, it's not, and you see, this is the thing, like, because it's not a deal that even should be dragged on soon, because the player got a year left on his contract, you know? And I feel like by now, or probably by the time, like, he's supposed to go to like preseason, him and Real Madrid will agree whether they want to sign him or no. And if they don't want to sign him, I don't even think, like, in hindsight, Real Madrid will want him to come back to the camp, you know? They would just say, hey, you know what? if your future doesn't lie with the club, then just negotiate with what do you call it, Man United. Let's get this deal up. And from what I've been hearing too, Real Madrid don't even want to sign a replacement. They don't even want to sign a replacement. They want to keep with Alba, Melito, and I think they got like Nacho or whatever it is down there too as their centre back too for next season. They are, I believe they are literally trying to save whatever it is to try get a Mbappe or Haaland deal done for next season or whatever superstar they want to come in. Real Madrid have always been the club that are always more interested in like attacking strength than defensive strength. And let's not forget too, their midfield too is getting very, very old. Modric is very old. Toni Kroos is also getting very old too. So they go a lot of like players that I feel like they just need a squad over one guy to kind of like do. Yeah, they just need to do like they need to get rid of a lot of like dead wood on a lot of like money. And I feel like Varane is not dead wood, but at the same time too, I feel like the club is just trying to kind of like save like money somewhere to put somewhere else, because they've done the same mistake with Gareth Bale, where they got him a big wages after that, and after that, since then he has never been able to kind of like perform. So they're going through this strategy where they let players go when they feel like it's time to do, you know. And the same thing happened with Ronaldo. You know, Ronaldo wanted a bigger contract, didn't get it. They didn't budge for Ronaldo, and in the end, Ronaldo ended up going to Juventus too. And I feel like this is the same thing too. He's not going to budge for Varane. They are not going to budge for him.
I feel like I remember a club, I think it was Bayern released, I read somewhere that they released that their losses. I mean, I think I read somewhere it was about showing us like 150 or 100, somewhere between 100 and 150 million euros that they lost because of, you know, all the revenue that's dropped, fans and everything like that. So you can imagine a team like Real Madrid, etc., or Barcelona that's struggling with the fans, but also got these massive wages on their books, how they will survive. Luckily enough for us, you know, fans are able to return in full capacity. I'm not sure about what it's going to be like for other areas, but I mean, I don't think a lot of these clubs can go one more season like this without just being in a mess, because you've already seen the patterns of Barcelona looking for free transfers, even the likes of Manchester United looking for, you know, the cheap bargains. Because if you look at who we've been linked to, you know, we've been linked to guys that's on the last year of their contract. You know what I mean? Goretzka, you know, Camavinga.
And also don't forget to, like, if the English teams are getting full capacity starting from next year, and your like of the Spanish and Italian teams are not able to do that, and bear in mind too, the English teams already have a lot of money anyway. And on top of that, they're going to get advantage of having full strength stadium. They're going to blow these guys apart, you know. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why they wanted Super League to happen so much, so that they can level the playing field. And you know what? Don't be surprised in the next, like, year or two, look, in terms of, like, finance, they're going to blow all this Spanish club out of the thing. They cannot be signing your superstars like your Messi and stuff like that no more. Like, it will switch. I feel like English club are going to be the place for the new Galacticos. Like, you know, even with Haaland and Mbappe trying to go there, I really find it hard how, like, Barcelona or even Real Madrid are going to try pull one of these guys, you know, unless they got some kind of like money, like, somewhere. It would take a lot for them to get those two guys into the Spanish league. So don't be surprised if you end up even seeing those kind of like superstars in the Premiership, wherever team that they're going to end up in.
Yeah, I won't be surprised either, man. It's where the money's at, isn't it? And everyone needs money right about now, so I won't be surprised. So, on Varane, though, before we wrap up with him, what attributes do you think that Varane? Because I know we get gassed on the transfers and you know who's coming, who's not coming, but in terms of the skill set, the attributes, Varane, we're talking about a guy that's won it all. He's won World Cup, he's won La Liga, he's won multiple Champions Leagues, 3 La Ligas, I think. You know, he's done it all. Obviously, he got knocked out of Euros, but it's a shame. But he did. You know, people have mixed opinions about his level of performance. I feel like overall, it wasn't that great, but he did have stand-up performances in the Euros that made me think, wow, we can do with that. What do you think that Varane could bring to Manchester United that we're lacking?
Well, first of all, one thing that he can bring on is stability, because our defense be shaky. They be nervous, man. Remind me of me when I was young trying to move to girls, bro. Shaky. No confidence there, bro. Like, that's one of the things there. Like, when he comes, as I said to you, when you were a striker and you know in the morning, and you know what, strikers, like I used to hear some of the strikers that they used to talk like, when you wake up and they were like back in the day, you know, like, hey, I'm going to face Vidic and Ferdinand. You don't go there thinking, hey, I'm going to get 2 goals today, or if I go, you don't tell like your midfielders like, put the ball in the air and I'm going to bullet Vidic, I'm going to book Ferdinand. You don't do that. And if you score 1, bro, you go and you frame your shit because that's an achievable thing, you know? So when you get Maguire, who also has been on form for England this summer, so straight away, strikers are going to take notice of that he's on form. And then you get Varane too on top of that too. It makes strikers think a lot. You know, they're not going to go there and say, hey, you know what, if I stay on Maguire, I can get a chance. Or if I... No, they're not. You know, so straight away, you pull, like, you make like teams think twice about how they're going to kind of approach us too. Secondly, he's a leader. Guy, he's a born leader. I read this thing where they said that the French team, the game against Switzerland, there was kind of like a conflict on the pitch where Pavon went to Varane to tell him that he felt like Pogba is not doing his defensive duty. So he went to tell Varane, and then Varane went to go tell Pogba. So that tells you like, he is the guy that when you have problems, you go to. I'm not sure how his English is, but I don't think it's going to be a problem too, because when someone is a leader, like look at Bruno. Bruno came to United and within like 6 months there, he was already a leader in the dressing room. Because our squad, we lack a bit of like leadership. We have been lacking it since Oli came in. And since Oli came in, one thing he's been doing is like getting some of the experienced players to help so that we go like experienced and the young. Like obviously Sancho coming in good quality, but he's not a leader on there. So you need guys like that. Imagine your back line. You go Maguire and Varane, who are both experienced, who are both leaders. Look sure to probably like growing up too. So that's a level of leadership there too. Now, if Fred and McTominay are there, these guys are shouting at them like, hey, I want you here. You listen. Lindelof, he's not very vocal on the pitch at all.
I think Roberto Carlos is coming on a long way in terms of leadership.
Too, as a leader too. He's coming on as a leader too. So if you got this guy, right? So if you got these guys there, because let's face it, McTominay and Fred too, like Fred don't really talk on the pitch a lot, you know, he don't really talk a lot. Lindelof too, he's always kind of like quiet. I've seen that guy get angry once. And that's when we're losing against Seville. And Bruno watched me like, hey, oh my God, you are too stuck like this. No here, but you know, in the cameras, bro. You know, so like bringing Varane straight away is kind of like a confidence. When you get Old Trafford, pop, and we go in there knowing that, look, we got a solid defense there. Straight away, we are not nervous. You know, we go there with a confidence and we transfer the confidence to the team. And that kind of like make the other kind of like team too nervous. When someone put a long ball there, ain't nobody in Old Trafford going to be nervous that Lindelof might not catch it or Maguire is going to be too slow. Because look, I think it's good. Like last game against England, I saw there was this ball that they play long there. I mean, Maguire was never going to go do there. John Stones was so quick, make sure he was there to take and the guy shoot it in a wrong angle. And you know what? That's what Varane is going to do. So that deal is going to happen because if we don't get him, the option we got, mate, we must not sign no one.
I know, that's the thing. That's the thing, because the level was like a massive gap between.
It dropped. Yeah, the levels dropped like 60% after him.
Massively. And I agree with what you said. I feel like Varane brings those leadership attributes. He also is quick. He's also agile. He's tall. He's physical. Like he's stronger than your Lindelof. He's not the strongest defender in the world, but he's stronger. His positional sense. Like he's just a complete defender. He's just better. He's got experience and he's just quality. And I feel like someone like him in the Manchester United squad will take it leaps and bounds, you know, to where we're currently are already. But I do feel like also there's an opportunity. I think I was listening to an interview from Mark Bosnitz, which is another sort of journalist, and he mentioned that we can't necessarily rule out having a back three like in certain games, because if you've got Varane there now, you can probably drift out. I remember seeing him in the Euros. He was drifting out quite a lot to the right-hand side, you know. And I won't be surprised if you had a formation where you had Luke Shaw now who's able to go as a left wing back, who's also decent he's solidified his, you know, his confidence and his ability now, bombing up forward, bombing down, bombing up. Then you have your Maguire, your Lindelof and your Varane as your three centre backs, and then obviously your Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I wouldn't rule that certain thing out. And I know we're thinking, is it going to be Lindelof or is it going to be Varane or whoever this new centre back is? But potentially it could be that we play 3-4. Do you know what I mean? Like we could play we could play 3 at the back or 3-5-2 or whatever it is we want to do. So it'll be interesting. And I feel like when you've got Varane at the back, playing three centre backs wouldn't bother me so much. Do you know what I mean? It's not like having, it just wouldn't bother me so much. So, because I know that he's a leader. But moving on, I'm going to talk about a lot. So let's talk about Camavinga, because obviously that's hot in the press right about now. Camavinga.
Yeah.
Camavinga's a guy that is, this news, when it came up, I was just like, wow, how did I miss this under the radar? Like, how did I miss this guy in the last year of his contract? Like, this is a guy that, if you play FM, you'll know about Camavinga. If you watch French football, you'll probably know about Camavinga. Not many people in English football they know about his name, but they don't really know about him. They haven't seen him play. And I wanted to read to you one of some comments that I read from Rio Ferdinand, because Rio Ferdinand made some controversial statements in it, basically.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he would rather have signed Declan Rice over Camavinga for Manchester United. So here's what he said. So I'm going to read it out now. Let me see if I can find what he says. So he said he's not seen enough of him, which is most people haven't probably. He said he saw him against PSG and he got man of the match and he played really well. And he said basically he knows that you can see it from a mile off that, you know, they've both got talent, being like Camavinga's got talent and Declan Rice has got talent. He said what Declan Rice is doing in England for his age is a madness. And I think Declan Rice is around 22, Camavinga is 18. So he said that they both got talent. But he said, would Camavinga come into Manchester United, play regular football and be a star? Now that's a good point, because I don't think he'll be playing regular football unless he comes in and has some sort of Rooney impact. He then goes on to say, or is he going to be like Amad Diallo, who we signed 40 million, then he can't get a game? He's now probably going to go out on loan. So he says we need first team starters coming in. And that's when he moves on to Declan Rice, and he says like, this guy is moving on to next levels. What he's doing is a madness for the England squad, like I mentioned earlier. And then it says basically like, for him, like he feels like Camavinga, they both got the ability, but for him, he'll choose Declan Rice because Declan Rice has this character that is not really, you know, it's not really common these days. And he says that he can bring a lot to Manchester United. He's a sponge and he takes in a lot of information and he keeps getting better and better and better. And he's got the attitude of a winner. Like he's envious of people that are winning trophies from other clubs and he wants it to be him. And Rio Ferdinand was saying he sees similarities in that type of attitude. So he reckons that Declan Rice is actually the thing. Now, I personally have my views on it, but what's your views on Rio Ferdinand's comments? Do you agree with him?
He is spot on. He is spot on, you know, because I mean, Oli is a very cautious guy, you know, because one thing about him, like, he doesn't like to throw these young players in the deep end, because any little thing that they do, like, you know how the media in this country is going to be, like, you know, he's going to come here, they're going to expect a lot from him. 1 or 2 bad games there, and they're going to be on him too. So, like, he's going to do how he done with Greenwood too. You know, I mean, apart from last like Greenwood play, let's forget, like, the season before that too, Greenwood used to be like a lot of like stuff, and most of his game were coming from the Europa League, you know. I've seen clips of him playing the French league too, and you know what? He's a bit like kind of like Pogba. They got very kind of like similarities too. He likes to hold on to the ball like longer too, and that's not something that's gonna go very good in the Premiership. He's gonna have to adapt that side, because in the Premiership he's not gonna get that much time. That day, you know what? When it first came out, I was a bit kind of like, yeah, you know, United are probably like, but now I don't really know what the angle for that deal is. I don't know whether we are 200% interested like that, or if we're just trying to kind of like go for that deal because something in the midfield, like either Pogba or Van der Beek. Some people just tell me that Van der Beek is definitely gonna leave this season. I really feel like he will. So I don't know. I'm just not sure that yet, because I feel like Oli won Declan Rice. He won to get most of the position kind of like sorted out this summer, because next summer they are going all in for a top centre forward, because Cavani will go and they will want that. So this summer they don't want to spend the summer going for Declan Rice for like a big price of money. Next summer they are going all in.
And remember, 2022 is a key year for a lot of people's contracts that are coming to an end. If you look at it, right, there's a lot of decisions that's got to be made in 2022. Mbappe is one of them. He's like one of the key ones. Haaland's clauses kicking in, obviously 2020.
Yeah.
There's just so much going on with this 2022. There's other names, I'm sure, that's come to, obviously Pogba's there, but there's other names as well, that's big names where it's a 2022 issue. And I think people are just waiting for that.
Waiting. And I feel like United knew that this summer getting a top striker was always out of the question, because they didn't have the money to get a top striker, and they want to be in a position this summer where they are getting a top striker, and not literally concentrating on like the midfield, because I feel like his number one target is going to be Declan Rice. But if he can't get Declan Rice this summer, that's where they want to get the second best option, because they don't want to spend next season money on Declan Rice. They want to go all in for a top striker next summer. And if Mbappe become free, look, they want to be in a conversation to say, hey, we got the money if you need to come, not necessarily playing like, hey, like this summer, for example, most of our money, let's face it, has gone towards Jadon Sancho. And if it wasn't for Veron being in a last year of his contract, this would not be a conversation we are having linking to us, because we could not afford him. If it wasn't for Camavinga being in his last year contract, we would not be talking about him. Kevin Trippier too, cheap option. So the guys that we've been linked to are guys who are literally cheap option, because we already spent our money on Jadon Sancho too. So that's why this deal, I don't know, I feel like they will still try to get just Lindegaard to get the Declan Rice kind of like deal. But if that don't work and West Ham still want a lot of money or whatever it is, if that deal don't kind of like work or whatever it is, if that become a problem, they will not revisit that next summer that they did with Jadon Sancho. It will be like, you know what, case closed, we move on to our backup option, which is Camavinga, and then that would be it, personally.
So I think I read somewhere about the Jesse Lingard thing, and I think I read that, I don't know how true it is, but he said that he doesn't want to be, he doesn't want to be in.
He ain't gonna say though, my G.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, if you're getting sold to a team, we're gonna get the money for it and then use that money to reinvest in other. So it may not be like a swap deal or a part exchange, but one way or another, if you get sold, you're going to contribute to the incomers that come to Manchester United anyway. But on Camavinga, what I would like to say is, like, obviously he's 18, he's young, he's raw, but he's got talent, he's got ability. He's probably one of the future stars. Like, French people that in the French league would know about him more than us. But everything that I've heard from this guy is good. I've heard that he's really good at. I've watched, actually, I tried watching last year's game, the PSG versus Rennes game, and he started in midfield, and actually he was partnering in Zonzi, I think, but he was playing in a more deeper role in the midfield. What I did know about him, that guy, he's quick. He doesn't sit back. He goes after you almost like a Fred at times. Like he's got the energy. Yeah. He's dynamic. He's quick. He loves the tackle. See, this is the difference with Pogba, because Pogba, he tackles here and there on occasions, but he's not someone that he doesn't get the joy. I don't get the sense that he gets joy of sliding or going crunching in for a tackle. He's one of those guys that'll probably move out the way like a nice little finesse thing.
Pogba is like a Zidane.
Whereas Camavinga is a guy that I feel like he enjoys a tackle. He seeks it, which is good, because it provides added balance. Now, if you've got someone that can also pass, can get forward when needed, and then tackle, got good positioning, that would help. I have heard that Camavinga likes to get forward quite sometimes as well, so it will take a lot of adapting, a lot of discipline, a lot of work. And then there's that thing as well, is that then you've got someone so attacking, are you prohibiting them a lot of their abilities? Because it does seem really balanced in terms of what he can bring. Like he is very much looking like a complete midfielder. Should he develop into one, he's looking like he's got the attributes to be a complete midfielder. And people are even, I've heard it that's no senses there. I've heard it on people like from United stand and everything say that he's more aligned to people like Kante, someone that can bomb forward, provide that attacking support as well as defense. But so that's just my take on that. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's like Pogba, but landing him, because I've heard some other clubs are interested, like Real Madrid, and the fee is cheap.
But they don't want to pay. This is the problem. These guys don't want to pay. Like a lot of clubs nowadays, and I feel like this is what a lot of clubs are trying to do. They're trying to get players to come to them on a free. because they don't want to pay the transfer fees, you know. They don't want, because the money is not there for these guys. Like, if they feel like they can get you a free a year after that, look at Abba, for example. They've been known that this guy can come for free since the year before that, because he left Bayern Munich, know that he might not sign a contract. And they could have got him last summer, you know, because by last summer, everybody knew that. But they already had an agreement with him a year before that.
PSG are also signing. PSG are also...
Right, PSG are also signing
and
too.
Is it Chelsea that's linked with him as well? I thought like there's another name in the mix of Camavinga.
I don't know. Right now, the only name I've heard really that was being linked with him has been Real Madrid, PSG, and you know what? United came out of nowhere, because for one, I even heard about Arsenal, but ain't nobody gonna go to a team that ain't playing on Europe, so they're just dead in the water, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I feel United will go in, try to see if they can get like this deal down for 25 million. And because if it's a 25 million, look, whether he's going to be a first teamer or not, which obviously as a United fan, we want the first team. According to the United board, that would be a good business, because if you tie him down on a 5-year deal, and then he become a good player, bro, that's an 80 million investment right there, you know? Same thing that Dortmund has been doing too. So, I think they will do that. Bellingham is one player that you might be interested in, but that's like 2-3 years time, you know? They will try to do the same thing that they're not with like Sancho kind of like thing, but that's just like 3 years down the line, you know? But they will try to go get this guy. They will literally go try to get this guy. But this one, I'm not so confident about this deal as I am with the Varane deal just yet, because this is my bet. Just be United just trying to just cut. Same thing like they done with like Pau Torres, you know. Let's go and inquire. Let's see what do you call it, if their club is like willing to sell. Rennes are willing to sell because they don't want to lose him on a free, a young player like that. So they are willing to sell anyways. I feel like what they would try to do is just get more parties into it, just so that they can drive his price up and not. And the more the transfer window kind of like keep on going, and there's no interested clubs like that, United will just go in there, offer like 20 million, and then give the guy like a lot of wages, and just tell him like, look, you come here. Example is McTominay. McTominay is young and still commanding a place in the midfield. Come here, show me what you can get, and that one of them, that midfield spots will be for you. And if it comes, that's just Matic just saying goodbye to United, personally.
That's the thing. I mean, with all the uncertainty with Matic leaving to, I think it was linked with going back to Roma or even Benfica. Then you've got Pogba and his contract situation, and then you've got Donny van de Beek, who may not even necessarily be all he's signing. Camavinga being linked with him makes sense, but I did feel like it would be either Jude Bellingham or Camavinga. I didn't think it would be both that will end up at Man United. Ideally, I wanted Jude Bellingham after I saw the season that he had in Dortmund, and then obviously he's playing in the Euros now, bit part, but he's looking real good. I wanted him, but Camavinga, I mean, no one could deny that 25 million pounds or whatever it is a good deal. I mean, this is a guy that, you know, is being tutored, you know, people are saying, you know, if it wasn't done because of his last year of his contract, this is a guy that could potentially be going for triple the amount, if not more. So it's something that, you know, could definitely be a good investment. Now, the thing about this deal, right, is I don't think he's going to start. I don't think Camavinga is going to start. He will have to hit the ground running and blow everyone like that. You know, it would be amazing for him to like displace someone like Fred or Scott McTominay. But if I was in the player's shoes, I'll be thinking, do I want to go to Manchester United? Now I heard that he's open to joining Manchester United. He would like to go to us, but he would like to go to any top teams. He doesn't really have any. I heard his preference is PSG, but he doesn't really have any preference outside of PSG about what club he will go to. Now, when you're looking at that as a player, but you're looking at Manchester United and thinking, okay, we just signed a young player in Donny van de Beek. He's not getting any game time. Amad Diallo, we signed him. He got like a handful of games, and now you're talking about loaning him. We've got so many guys that are like Tahith Chong, that doesn't seem like there's any direct route for him back into the club.
These guys ain't good. Look, it's about being luck. It's about getting to the...
But my point is even if it's luck, right? Manchester United have got to start utilizing these players. You know, we've got guys like Elanga, Shora Toure, all of these guys that doesn't really seem like they've got any clear future sort of first team route into, you know, at Manchester United. The thing is that you've got Camavinga, he's 18 years old. he may have all the faith in his ability, just like Donny van de Beek done. You know, Donny van de Beek was reaching like latter status of European Champions League. Do you know what I mean? He's doing bits. You see, Amad Diallo is touted as being the next. Who was he being linked with again? Amad Diallo. But he was. You could see he's got ample ability. These guys are not getting opportunity. Why is Camavinga going to think that? Jude Bellingham, one of the reasons in his rationale for going to Dortmund is him thinking, these guys ain't even going to play me. Could be that as well.
But Jude Bellingham, bro, if he came to any of the top 4 Premiership team, he ain't starting, bro. Not after. Now that he's gone to Dortmund to go prove himself, yes. But when he was at Birmingham, he is not starting a Man City team, not starting a United team, not Chelsea team, or even what you call a Liverpool team. He ain't starting. So that's just on period. Look, if he go to PSG, this guy, well, look at PSG like midfield now. They got Verratti, they got Wanyama now, and then I don't even know. They got midfielders there too. They got that guy that they bought from Everton there too, that defensive midfielder. But they got midfielders too. So if he go there too, he's going to be on a rotation free. He's not going to guarantee a starting place. He goes to Real Madrid too, same thing. He's not going to guarantee a starting place too. And if he comes to United too, it's the same thing too. You know, to be honest with you, I feel like if he comes to United, he probably get more chance kind of by playing. One, if he come now, a lot of the players are not coming to preseason. So he will go to preseason, you do well, but he gonna get game time. And a player, look at Greenwood too. If you got ability, that's one thing about Ole is, if you got an ability, slowly, you're gonna get your opportunity to go. Van der Beek, he came at the wrong time because he came to be a backup for Bruno, where we can rotate for Bruno to kind of like take a rest. But unfortunately, Bruno has such a good leadership skills that when you take him out of the team, not only are you taking his ability too, but you are taking his leadership skills.
Yeah, and he never got injured. He never got injured. That's another thing.
Too. Right, and that was a thing too. With him coming, look, Fred is having a good tournament at Copa. McTominay too, you just never kind of like sure what they will. But they are our only 2 defensive guys there too. Pogba played there too, but he doesn't really enjoy there too. And look, Pogba got injuries in him. And I always say this, if Pogba get injured and one of Fred and McTominay get injured too, bro, we don't have no more cover there. So if he comes and we got 4 defensive midfielders there competing for 2 positions, look, you might not start week in and week out, but the chances are you're going to get game time because if Pogba get injured, which normally when he get injured, he's always out like 6 weeks, there has to be rotation. And bro, when it's a rotation, he's going to guarantee a place too. And Ole is not going to tell him like, hey, come here, you're going to be first in mature straight away. He's going to come and I will slowly develop you to get in there. Maybe his first season will be rough, but come next season, he'll be the guy. I got no doubt about it. And 25 million too is a win-win situation. If he come in, he perform good, his price rise up. If he come in, doesn't perform good, I'm surely you can sell him and get your 25 million back.
Easily, you'll get more than that. Even Kieran Trippier at the age of 30, 31, whatever he is, they're talking about 40 million. So with someone like Camavinga, you definitely got. I don't think you can make a bad decision in getting him, especially with what is available out there in that sort of position. I mean, Jude Bellingham, you ain't getting him this season. You know what I mean? You probably might not even get him next season. His price tag is probably going to be closer to.
It's a 3-year project. That guy's a 3-year project. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going to take forever. And the same with Declan Rice. As much as I don't even want him at my club, you ain't getting him for anything less than 70, 80 million anyway. So for me, I do feel like Camavinga's the right buy, and I think it will appease Oli as well because he's going to feel like he's satisfied the fans in getting a DM, but he could still get to use Fred and McTominay, which is where he's comfortable at. You know what I mean? So with him, I feel like, but I truly do feel that Camavinga, and I'll watch more games of him because I don't like watching highlights because they just take the best bits. So what I do, I'm going to try and watch a few more games of Camavinga, the full 90 minutes, and see what he's truly about, and then get and build up more of a better assessment of what he's like. Yeah. What he's like. Obviously, French league is not that great, but you know.
I feel like his deal, is going to be a deal that they're going to wait a little bit. They're going to wait on his deal a little bit because they will try and test the water with Declan Rice. You know, I think they would test the water with Declan Rice because there's been these rumors that Declan Rice say, hey, if a bid come, like let me know. And you know what, with England having such a good tournament in the Euros too, bro, these guys are starting to kind of like get a taste of what it is like to play on the top stage. Don't tell me you're going to come from playing the Europes where you are being a big star there to coming back and playing for West Ham. I mean, West Ham are in Europe this season too, like, you know, and just going there, like, look at, what do you call it, Harry Kane. You're not going to go captain England to win a European Championship and come there and just not be playing Europe. Like, no one wonder that these players are playing with some of the best players in the world, you know, and you want to continue doing that. Pickford, if it wasn't for European Championship, he ain't never going to see that German goalkeeper in his life, you know.
Declan apparently rejected a contract extension, didn't he? From West Ham?
Right,
So
he want to come. I really feel like, I think this Camavinga deal will kind of like wait. It would depend on Declan Rice. I really feel like it would depend on Declan Rice.
I don't want him at my club.
I know you don't want him, but that's what your manager wants.
I'm worried that Chelsea news is even dying down, because when you have people like Calvin Phillips being hyped now, I just don't want these teams now saying, oh, Calvin Phillips is the right guy, taking him and then leaving Declan Rice for us. Like, you need to go and get your star, like Chelsea, go and get your star man in Declan Rice. Leave us to get someone like Camavinga. Do you know what I mean? And the good thing about Camavinga is the fact that because he's so cheap, if you can get him for that amount, it wouldn't stop Man United in 2 years' time saying, do you know what? Let's go in for someone like Jude Bellingham when we've sorted out our position of a striker. Do you know what I mean? For the following season, like, it wouldn't stop us. But if we've got someone like Declan Rice where we spent the bag on, that's it. It's done. You know, it's, right. If you get someone like Wilfred Ndidi again, that's it, and it's done. And Wilfred Ndidi, I have faith that that guy will do well for Manchester United. But Declan Rice, I mean, for me, he's just not mobile enough. He's a guy that is 22. He should be very active. And for me, it just seems like he reminds me of a Maguire, I don't know, he just in midfield. It just seems like,
yeah.
I just feel
I get what you mean. I don't know, with him, I'm starting to grow a bit of fan of him, because the more I see that, like, the way he played for England, the more I see him, he's one of those players that, you know, it reminds me a bit of like Juninho at Chelsea, you know, where if you don't understand like the role he plays, you don't really like him. But with him playing, like, England has got clean sheets in all their 5 games, and it's not, because if you look at the backline normally don't face a lot of trouble, because these guys do so well protecting the defense there. You know, he made guys like Harry Maguire look good, because when he is just so there,
Maguire makes them look.
Before a striker get a chance, strikers get a chance at the defenders, but they don't get a full chance. They get half chance to try and make magic. You know, when you get guys like that protecting your defense. But when you don't have guys like that, strikers get full chance there. And that's what the kind of like thing that he would do. When he come there, he offer that kind of like protection. Yes, he's not mobile, but bro, if a team is keeping clean sheet, surely we got the best attack.
You got to look at it.
You
got to look at it like England at times. I remember they played like 7.5 defenders. You know, not all the time, but I remember them playing. Luke Shaw's on fine form. You ain't got to worry about him. Kyle Walker, yeah, his positioning's a bit poor at times, but he's got the speed to recover. You know, he just won the Premier League with Manchester City. You've got Luke Shaw's had a fine form. They're calling him Roberto Carlos now, the best left back out there in the world. Yeah. Right now. Then you've got Mings, who was he actually impressed me.
He's a decent too.
And then you've got Stones, who again won the Premier League and has been the stand-up performer for Manchester City in defence alongside Laporte. Do you know what I mean? So it's not a surprise that the defence did well, especially with those people around supporting guys like Mings. And then you've got 2 mid DMs in front of them, yeah, in Phillips and Declan Rice, 2 defensive guys. I look at Manchester United and I think, look, this is almost like a replica of how we move in terms of having the 2 DMs. Which
right,
is
so you should get him if it's a situation perfectly.
No, but Manchester United, we're not having 2 DMs, right? We're looking for that all-encompassing 1 DM that can do the role by himself.
Oh, well, we don't know whether our situation is going to change or not.
Alongside, what we would all want to see is not having 2 positions occupied by a position that could be fulfilled by 1 person. Declan Rice playing in that England team has not given me nothing new. In terms of, like, if he's doing it by himself in the 90 minutes, I'm like, okay, look, this guy can hold his own against, you know, these teams. But then you're playing 2 DMs against Scotland and all of them ones. It's not giving me any new information. And as far as I'm concerned, you don't get exposed enough for me to understand what you're truly about. You need to be put up against the fire.
Big players don't get exposed though, man.
No. Fam, there's levels to this thing. In the Premier League, you're gonna get exposed, bro. You're gonna get exposed. Bro,
you say that though, but then he got West Ham into 5th place. He nearly helped West Ham get to, what do you call it, into the Champions League. And now he helped England get to the semis. Well, look, maybe it's not him. Maybe it's a collective thing. But if you have watched the England team, one thing that has changed, their centre backs position have changed, left back position have changed, right back has changed. One thing that hasn't changed is the 2 DM, and because of them, the defense is still stable.
Yeah, I thought that.
One of them and see what happens.
They played Saka as well, who's a defensive winger, because he can play fullback as well.
Bro,
like they were playing.
That's the same thing your manager do at United. Your manager played Daniel James there.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But
so
what I'm
saying, but what I'm team, it help us.
But what I keep saying is, we don't need. I'm trying to understand if a guy can do this thing by himself. I want to destroy it by himself. What Southgate is doing is similar to what Oli does. Like, it's not giving me anything new. You understand? Maybe you've upgraded a Fred or Scott McTominay a little bit. I don't know if you call it an upgrade, but it's not giving me something new. What I would like to see, what I would have loved to see, is Declan Rice playing by himself. Remove Calvin Phillips.
Why should he play himself alone?
Because he doesn't need to.
The best defensive midfielder in the world. But at Chelsea, he played Janino, my guy. He ain't doing it by himself. He's sharing the wealth, like he's sharing.
Yeah, I mean, but we're looking at it. Manchester United in our scenario, we've got someone that we've got Bruno, who he plays risky balls 90% of the time. He loses the ball. The possession, I know we've got a lot of possession in a lot of our games, but we're losing the ball in crucial moments. You saw when Pogba lost the ball for France here, what that led to was a goal, right? We've got Pogba as well.
Saved that too.
Pogba's one of those guys, right, that will do greatness as what you saw, but then have a moment where he hangs onto the ball too much, gets displaced, and then counter-attack. Now, we've got guys that lose the ball and not really boss the midfield. I know Pogba was doing it, but there's just times where we just need that cover. And we ain't got Scott McTominay, and we ain't got Fred that are solely like defensive destroyers that you can depend on in midfield. Then you're bringing Declan Rice, and what's Declan Rice going to do against Pogba? Like with Pogba. So when Pogba's doing his thing, Bruno's doing his thing. They're both further up the pitch, probably losing the ball as well as creating loads of goals. Declan Rice, can I depend on that guy to do it by himself? I want to see a guy that can do it by himself, and Declan Rice hasn't been showing. I haven't seen it yet with Calvin Phillips. I haven't seen it.
I got look in terms of like protecting the defense. I got no problem Declan Rice doing that job, whether he's doing it alone or he's doing it too. My only problem is when we go down, my guy, what are you offering us? That's my only problem with him. When we go down, we are chasing the game. What are you offering us? And that's where you can say, hey, you know what? That's that case. You can like take him off the team and bring someone else too. He can play defensive too. If you want to play at the back too, he can slot in there too. He's very good in the air too. I don't know, but we will see about that. We will see about that. But you tell me, if he come into the team, does he improve the team? I say yes, he does improve the team. So I don't know. Maybe if the money is good money, we'll see about that.
Bro, I'm so happy that his price tag is so high. I'm so happy with it. That is the only confidence I'm getting right now that we're not signing him. I really hope that they just keep elevating that price tag to like 100, 150, whatever they want to do. Bro.
Oh, he ain't worth 100 million. Yeah, that guy ain't worth 100. West Ham even knows it. They just bluff it, mate.
Look, moving on to the so obviously Pogba. Did we discuss Pogba? So Pogba is having issues with, well, not issues. He's having discussions with Manchester United about his contract. He's in those discussions now. It's formal. So we're having those discussions. But also I've read news and reports from Mohamed Bahafsi, is one of the French journalists out there. He's a credible one. He's saying that he said that Pogba seems more and more open to the idea of joining PSG. Discussions continue with his entourage. So this is something that, and people may say it's a bargaining tip, but PSG is having discussions with Pogba. Manchester United is having discussions with Pogba. We talked about this offline at length about what ideas with what's going to happen with Pogba. For me, I'm seeing it as this. Manchester United has been linked with Goretzka, Camavinga, Declan Rice. Have I missed anyone in midfield?
So, two from Atletico Madrid too.
Sarniguez. Now we're being linked with all of these guys, especially the intensity is raised with Camavinga and stuff like that. And I just think, unless this is cover and backup for people like Matic leaving and stuff like that, for me, I'm just getting the vibe like I'm looking at the caliber of the type of player that they're looking at, and then also looking at who could potentially be leaving. And for me, I'm getting a feeling that maybe there's progress being done. I know that they said, you know, signing Camavinga is independent from Pogba. It's got nothing to do with it. But a part of me is thinking that could there be enough progression happening with the Pogba negotiations, PSG, that it could leave a hole in our midfield, and Manchester United are actively trying to close that, looking at these things. But what's your views? And I already know your views, but you
yeah. But as I said to you, I don't really see Pogba going to PSG. You know, PSG is a club that he can go when he was like 32, 33. You know, and the thing about Pogba too, that
you don't rate PSG in it 32 phase.
No, I don't rate. Look, I rate PSG, but I just don't rate the league that they are on. It's not a league you go there. Like, Pogba is a superstar. You know, he's a bit like Man United. He loves to be talked about. There's a reason why he never come out and just say, hey, you know what, I want to see at United. He never, Pogba will say, we'll sign a 5-year contract, and they will still be putting out there that he want to leave United because he like United. He just loves for them to talk about him. And I'm sorry, going to a club like PSG is not what he needs, you know, because he's a very marketing player too. When he go to the French league, who's going to talk about him? Look, Neymar was one of the best players there since he went to PSG. Who talk about him? No one talk about him. The only thing I heard about Neymar was the fact that Nike rejected their contract for him because he had a rape case there. But I don't know how much goals he scored in the French league because no one cares, bro. Mbappe is one of the best players in the world. But if it wasn't for the European Championship or in the Champions League, I don't see this guy play. Mbappe can score 50 goals in the French league and no one is going to talk about it, which, by the way, he did. I think last season he got probably like about 30 or 40 goals, but no one is even mentioning him in the Ballon d'Or because it's the French league. And Pogba ain't going to go there. His agent was managing Ibrahimovic, and he got Ibrahimovic to go there when he was like 30-something. You know? I feel like if Pogba is going to leave United, I think he's going to leave on a free, personally. So this season, I am 200% confident that Pogba is going to be at United. And maybe United will try to kind of like, because it's going to be like, hey, if you're going to stay, why don't you just kind of like sign a new contract, double your money, and if any club want to get, but the thing is, no club will come and pay that kind of like big transfer fee for him anymore. But I don't know. I feel like with Pogba, it's either he go to Juventus or he stay at, or maybe in Spain. PSG is never Spain. And Juventus former director has come out to say they have never been close to signing Pogba because the money don't make sense. You know, Real Madrid, as we know, they are broke, trying to get people off their wages. And if they can offer around the wages that he wants, what make you feel like they can offer Pogba that too? The only thing is PSG, and I don't know, yes, they can offer that kind of like money, but I don't think Pogba will go there as the last resort, just like the AC Milan goalkeeper went there because he had nowhere else to go but only there. And that's on a free transfer too. I don't know, but I'm staying here.
I do hear your points about the appeal of the French league for sure. But I know that Pogba, if he wants guaranteed trophies, PSG can deliver it. PSG's looking like they're knocking on the door.
French league and trophies, you know. They're
knocking on the door for Champions League. You know, they've been to a final against Bayern or whatever, and then the semi-finals as well, where they got knocked out as well. They're knocking on the door of Champions League, and maybe Pogba could be thinking, you know what, no, forget about
Premier League. Retirement home. Don't go to a retirement home in your peak.
Let's see if we can get Champions League. And I feel like with Pogba, I do feel like he'll probably be at Manchester United next season. But I don't know if he would have signed that contract. And if I was Pogba, I'll be thinking about, okay, now that I know that there's contracts that are expiring in 2022, let me see what happens with the movement. Let me even see what happens in Manchester United and who we signed first. Let me see what's happening with the big names like Mbappe. He's not signed yet. Let's see what happened with Haaland. Where are these clubs going to go? Obviously, I don't think one club's going to be able to get all of them. But let me just see how these players move. I don't think Pogba's obviously going to play for another team in the Premier League. But if you have all of a sudden Mbappe moves to Real Madrid, will Pogba find that more attractive? Can Real Madrid even afford both of them? That's another question.
Yeah.
Again with Barcelona, would he find that more attractive? Juve, would he find that more attractive? There's all of these questions there that needs to be kind of answered. And I'll be waiting for that. And let's not write off like Juventus, they've got Cristiano Ronaldo at the minute. He's on silly wages. Let's just round it off to about 800,000 to 1 million that he's getting, whatever. Not 1 million, but somewhere around that 800 mark, roughly. They've got a whole lot of wages. If Mbappe was to leave for free, Juve, I don't think they'll get him, but they can do that deal. Pogba, they could do that deal if he wanted to go back there next season if he leaves on a free, because that's just freeing up Ronaldo's wages. And that deal could happen. So if I was Pogba, I'll be thinking, let me bide my time and see what happens, But
yeah,
I do feel like Pogba has got a good relation. I know this is business, but I do feel like Pogba's got a good relationship with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I feel that could potentially help in a sense where Pogba says, you know what, I'm not going to leave for free. I'll help you generate some money. I left free for once before. This would not look good if I left for free again. I feel like, if anything, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Pogba might be able to work out some gentleman's agreement where if he does sign, he signs a contract on the premises that he gets assurances and agreement that if a team comes in with a reasonable sum of money, whatever, that he'll be allowed to leave, no questions asked. I feel like that's something that Ole would sort of support and adhere to, providing that Ole is still manager of the club, because that's another thing that could change,
Yeah, but then that's something that they can shake on, but United will never ever put that in their contract. But personally, whether Pogba leave or not, that still ain't gonna do anything to the project. Personally, I feel like we need him for one more season, because we kind of like building this momentum where we gain all these kind of like big players. It will be a shame to lose another big player when we kind of like feel like we gain somewhere, Next season, I got no doubt, like, we will be in a better position, like in the midfield wise, And then if he leave, like, not this coming one, if he leave like next season, even whether it's on a free or whatever it is, that's cool. I'm good with that. Coutinho left Liverpool and he was their best player, and Liverpool still went on to win the Premiership and the Champions League. Leaving is just then the end goal of it. But I feel like we are just building this momentum with like Sancho coming in and hopefully Varane coming too. And then with those kind of like players with like Pogba there too, this is a team that on the paper, they are very, very scary. Anybody look at it and you know what, even if Pogba don't give us 100%, his 50% is better than what we have in that midfield, It is better than what we have in that midfield. So I just want to keep him for one more season. And I feel like in terms of like business point of view, he will wait to get more options. If he really wanted to leave United, he will not sign a contract and then try to wait and go. But if United forces his hand to say, hey, if you don't sign this contract and we will want you out, that's when maybe that PhD kind of a thing. But it will have to be. But I feel like Pogba respects United too much to kind of like play his hand right now to just let them know that, hey, you know what, I want to leave. I don't want to agree no contract there. I want to leave. So that's why they are negotiating a contract anyway, because I feel like right now he's more motivated about money and also what the club is going to do. But yeah, he will wait and just for them to offer him a good deal. And I feel like that was kind of like thing will go towards after the window opens, because if, I don't know, business-wise, he want to live on a free, so he will probably like drag United along to try to maybe convince them that he want to sign a new deal. And when the transfer window kind of like closes, he will say, hey, you know what, you guys are not giving me the money I want 500,000, a week. United say, hey, there's no way we can give you 500,000 pounds. So by that time, they will have no option to say, hey, you know what, in January, you can leave, or they're going to freeze him out of the team. And then he still end up having a lot of choice. He can go to Bayern Munich, he can go to Juventus, Real Madrid on the free, Barcelona on the free, and he will have more choice than just saying, hey, it's only PSG for me, because players like that, they won't have options, and they don't want to just choose out of just PSG alone.
Yeah, I think he's going to want options. It's going to be interesting. Let's see what happens, because obviously, we're in discussions. Man United is going to want to answer ASAP, so we're going to see what comes out of that. So, there's no denying that Pogba's, one of the best midfielders in the world. We've seen it for Man United, we've seen it for Juventus, we've seen it for, in the Euros, So hopefully, if we're going to make any progress, it's a good chance Pogba's going to be part of that, or a huge part of that. But just to wrap up on Jadon Sancho, a quick one on that. So Jadon Sancho, obviously, we signed him. He's joined Man United, £73 million with some add-ons. Now, a lot of fans are saying, Jadon Sancho he's not. How are you going to pay so much? And he hasn't started in the Euros. He can't get into Southgate's England team. For me, I do really feel like 73 million a bargain. For me, I feel like the world will see it's going to be a bargain, and it may not be a bargain now, but we're going to see that it's a bargain maybe in a couple of years' time. That Jadon Sancho, we're all going to be happy. It's almost like that Martial thing where we thought that was a lot, that we paid 30-something million with add-ons and takes it up to 50, and then we're thinking it's a lot, and then now we're like, it's not so much. Yeah, he may not be the best player in the world right about now, but we're not too fast. And I do feel Jadon Sancho is going to come good. Now, look, Sancho touched down on that. He got his call up against, who was it against?
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Yeah.
He got his call up. For me, he impressed me. Sancho, I saw him on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side, going through the middle. I saw him when he's on a ball, frightening defenders and midfielders. I saw him surrounded by 4 or 5 players at any given time. They were worried about this guy. And the one thing I noticed about Jadon Sancho as well, that his ability to skip past players is just amazing. He glides past players. His feet, his touch, his dribbling ability is insane, and his delivery of the ball as well. He slotted in a perfectly weighted pass as well. Like I can't remember who it was, but I know his final ball is great. For a guy that's 21 or whatever it is.
21, yeah.
He plays with such maturity. He doesn't hang on to the ball, doesn't dilly-dally. For me, I feel like he's going to bring so much to Manchester United. It is going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed with him, on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side. But there was just one thing about him that kind of like struck me, because we all compare like, he's going to play on the right, Rashford going to play on the left. But Rashford go past other players here with speed. Sancho don't do it with speed. He deal with pure dribbling skills, Because if you see like Rashford, when he dribbling past players, he just do it, boom, skip, and then he just keep on running. And sometimes he run into traffic. Well, Sancho wasn't even that. He actually, literally, a bit like how Messi do it, but not like Messi level. But when he dribble you, he just dribble you, and the ball is still kind of like glued to his feet. It is going to be a bargain, and I can't wait for him to come to the team. I mean, everybody say like, he's going to be on the right-hand side. Bro, I don't know. He might even take that left-hand side spot and just ship Rashford to loan or something. I don't know. But as I said, it is an exciting time to be a Man United fan. And you know what? Full crack capacity, Sancho making his debut. Like we've been waiting for this guy. And the one thing about United is when we are excited about a player, we are going to push him to greatness. We did the same thing with what they call it with Bruno. Bruno was our signing. We pushed the ball to sign Bruno. We've done the same thing with Sancho. And I'm telling you, they are going to back Sancho to death. Even if he comes and he's not scoring goals, we are going to back him onto his finest goals.
Of course. He's young enough that he can ride out a year, 2 years, 3 years, and we're still grinding. We're still on him, what I mean?
He's going to be a success there. The way he plays, with players like Bruno, Greenwood, Rashford, Martial there. And you know what? With Oli, one thing about Oli too is, like, Oli is going to give him the freedom to say, hey, Oli is not going to give him too much tactical thing to just do and everything like that. He's just going to say, look, just go and have fun, but man. Like, you got Wan-Bissaka a right back. So even if you don't track back, Wan-Bissaka is going to deal with all these guys, but so don't worry too much about it. Like, he always gives the attackers freedom to go express himself. That's what Oli does anyways too. And it's just going to be so much perfect for Jadon Sancho. Like, I can't wait. I can't wait to see more of him.
Neither can I, man. I can't wait till he's wearing the United shirt in a big game, full capacity. And the thing about Sancho, I mean, like we said, he for Euros, in the Euros against Ukraine, he was rotating. So I feel like he's going to start off on the right, but I won't be surprised if he's swapping between himself and Rashford or Martial, whoever it is, and he's going to end up on the left. Or even sometimes in the middle, because Bruno likes to roam himself. He likes to get about. So for me, we're going to see a lot of Jadon Sancho. I think the big thing about this signing is that he balances out the team so well. We saw where teams were able to, I think it was Calvin Phillips actually that marked out Bruno Fernandes in the second leg out of the game. He marked him out of the game. And you see with our attacking threat as well, generally speaking, for Manchester United comes on the left-hand side with Luke Shaw and Rashford or whoever's on that left-hand side. Sancho's now a genuine, I know Greenwood's done a lot for us and he's been doing well on the right, but what Sancho brings is something a bit different. He's someone that can progress the ball, take it from midfield, progress it, and slipping on nice cross. And we saw that elements of that from Greenwood, but it's just with Sancho, we've got a more natural guy that's a natural provider, a natural winger that's doing it on a more of a regular basis. So where you probably had Greenwood doing that twice a game, you might have Sancho doing it 4 or 5 times in a game, and that could potentially lead to more goals. And I feel like where the midfielders or defenders, whoever's trying to do man marking, it's not going to be as easy now that you've got people like Bruno, Sancho, Rashford on the left, where he plays better in my opinion anyway. And then Cavani up top is really good with the link-up play as well. Yeah. And then you've got Pogba doing his thing. So I just feel like overall we probably might even see more goals than we did last season.
Right. And another thing too is like if our front three is like say Martial, Rashford or Sancho or even Greenwood, well, these guys can be rotating. Like, for example, if Martial feel like he's struggling in the middle, all he has to do is shift on the left-hand side, Rashford come in there too. But if Sancho can even play there too as a first number 9, like them, it reminds me of, you know, when Ronaldo used to be there with like Ronaldo, Rooney, and Nani and Tevez like that. Bro, they were just rotating. If Ronaldo was having a tough time, like when he used to play Arsenal, he was having a tough time with Ashley Cole. Like, bro, I'm leaving that right-hand side. I'm going on the left-hand side. And then when he will go there too, you know, they're going to take turns trying different kind of like, fullbacks, you know, trying to see what formula it is. So as a fullback, I feel for you because when you come in, you don't have to even do just your homework on just Rashford because he might not end up playing on the left-hand side the whole time. He might just switch onto the right-hand side or into the middle too. So that rotation system with pace and everything, bro, it is going to be an exciting time. I just only hope just go a good formula for us going to next season and this kind of like excitement don't end up becoming like a nightmare where we have a bad start and playing catch up, you know, and it just literally excitement too, you know. I'm just looking forward to that, hopefully.
Like, we're looking forward to it, man. We're looking forward to it. And I saw a tweet from Haaland as well. He put a crying, like an emoji with a tear, and he tweeted Sancho, and Sancho tweeted like with a smiley face type of thing and an explanation.
Yeah.
And that's basically Haaland letting the world know that he is genuinely upset that Jadon Sancho's left him. He acknowledges that Jadon Sancho's a massive part in his own gameplay, massive part of the Dortmund team, and he acknowledges that Jadon Sancho was a big part in providing those goals, those assists for Haaland to get his goals. So for me, right, you know, he's going to be doing that now for the likes of Cavani, your Martials, your Rashfords, etc. And I just can't wait to see it. I really can't wait to see it.
Yeah, because you know what, if at Dortmund, when Haaland got injured, bro, they were still scoring. The minute Sancho got injured, I feel like, Haaland went like about 4 games without scoring a goal. And I was thinking, really, is Haaland not scoring a goal? So it is important, but I don't know why Haaland is crying anyways. Bro, he's coming next season anyway. He's coming next season. So why is he crying?
Let me end this. Let me lock this.
He's coming next season, but man, Sancho's going to bring him up and say, hey, you know, my boy, you want to score goals or not? Just let me just tap it in for you. He should stop crying, but he's coming.
Hey, don't even talk about that. I'm too gassed already. Allow it. Look,
bro, Sancho and Mbappe, they come in there summer. It's cool, bro. United are the madness, bro.
Hey, you need to get censored. You need to get censored right now. Lock off, bro. That's a yellow card, red card, all at once, bro.
Trust me, bro.
Look, this is the OT99 banter room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. You heard it from NK, you heard it from myself. We gave you our thoughts and our opinions on the transfer window, the likely incomings. Didn't really talk about outgoings. That's probably another show. But you know what? Fingers crossed, man. Hopefully we can get these deals over the line. Hopefully we have a strengthened squad to see, you know, our team flourish and be where it needs to be, which is sitting at the top of the Premier League, competing in Champions League, and back to winning ways and lifting trophies. Look, we're out. It was nice being with you, but we got to shoot. Look, we've got, what is it, Spain coming up now?
Yeah, Spain, Italy, big semi-final.
Spain, Italy, it's already kicked off. It's already kicked off right about now. So let's get tuned in. Let's watch that, man. My money's on Italy too, man. But until next time.
Italy, England, Italy, hopefully.
Hopefully. Peace.